This is every movie I watched this March. First, I saw The Thing from Another World, which was fine. It's based off of the same book as John Carpenter's The Thing, and it was really hard to not compare it to the 80s version because it is just much better on every single level. Don't get me wrong, it's obvious that a lot of effort went into The Thing from Another World, particularly with the production design, but a lot of the movie is just a snooze fest. I didn't find the characters very engaging, I didn't care about what was going on, and I cannot take the idea of a veggie monster very seriously, unfortunately. Then I finally watched Taxi Driver for the first time. I thrifted the DVD a few months ago and I've been meaning to watch it for a while. I have this insatiable love for low-budget films made in New York in the 70s and 80s. There's just something about how sleazy and grimy the city feels that really gets me. There's also something about how sad and angsty Travis is as a character. It's almost pathetic watching him and being inside of his mind for so long. He's a bit like a sick puppy that you see on the side of the street and you can't help but pity the guy. Then I saw Angel's Egg, which was a really hypnotic experience for me. This is an animated film that follows a young girl carrying an egg through an apocalyptic landscape in the hopes that an angel is inside. It feels more like a mood piece than a movie with an actual plot, and there are some pretty long stretches where nothing really happens and you're meant to just soak in the atmosphere. And the atmosphere, by the way, is incredible. I loved being in this world for so long. I thought it was a really interesting exploration of faith and what happens when the world forgets about the gods that were once in power. I've been a huge fan of Charli XCX since 2017, since she put out Pop 2, which is one of my favorite albums of all time personally. So eventually I knew I had to check out The Moment. I love Alexander Skarsgård's performance as the most excruciating and pretentious person on the planet, but when it comes to the jokes and the tension, it just wasn't really doing it for me. It's described and billed as this stressful mockumentary comedy situation, but I didn't find the movie funny or stressful enough to really warrant that description. It was cute, but I wish there was just more to it. Next, I caught Eternity, which I'd been meaning to see for a while now. This is a pretty fun rom-com, and to be honest, it's the kind of return to form that I thought that Materialists was going to be before I saw Materialists. The overall concept works for a while, but it really starts to lose its steam about halfway through once we start getting into the whole love triangle dynamic shtick. Even with all of that, it was charming enough to keep me engaged. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. I loved Elizabeth Olsen in it. I thought that she was fantastic. I love the production design. There are so many fun little details in this movie just waiting to be noticed in the background. After that, I watched It Was Just an Accident, which won the Palme d'Or last year. This immediately became one of my favorite films of 2025. It's so tense and so well shot, and the fact that it was made in secrecy and illegally is absolutely astounding. I also wasn't expecting this to be as funny as it was, but don't get me wrong, it's extremely tense and dark and bleak at times, but there were some moments where I genuinely started laughing out loud. I haven't been able to stop thinking about this movie since I watched it, especially that final shot, which is just absolutely haunting. A few days later, I saw Dazed and Confused, and I was under the influence for this one, but is there any other way to watch Dazed and Confused? There's so many interesting characters in this, and I'd watch multiple movies focusing on them individually if they existed. It's really just the perfect hangout movie. You could throw this on, have it in the background, and still get a good idea of what's going on if you're not fully paying attention to it. And I can see why people love this so much, and it will for sure be a movie that I plan on revisiting over and over again. Then I saw Kiss Me Deadly, which is a 1950s noir which follows a private investigator as he dives deeper and deeper into a world of conspiracy, torture, and lies in the search for the truth. It's kind of hard for me to talk about this one without spoiling it, but I did find the central mystery to be really engaging, even if I didn't always know what was happening. It takes these classic noir tropes and completely flips them upside down, and the final few minutes genuinely took me by surprise. I'd recommend this one just for the ending alone. I think it was fantastic. Next, I watched William Friedkin's Sorcerer, and let me just say that the 4K that Criterion put out looks absolutely incredible. This is such a tactile movie, and you can feel the sticky air of the jungle through the screen. I feel like you can smell the flora and the fauna, you can feel the road underneath the trucks, and of course the scene on the rope bridge is a true spectacle. I loved how the film starts with basically no context and just throws you off the deep end. I was on the edge of my seat for basically the entire runtime, and there were a few moments that literally made my jaw drop while watching. And finally, I saw Wuthering Heights, which was definitely a movie. I will say that the film itself looks great. The costume and production design is so lavish and fun to take in, but you honestly could not pay me to care about these characters or what they were going through. I just wasn't buying what they were selling. I didn't find the film to be sexy or romantic or tragic when that's clearly what it was going for. I actually laughed out loud at some points just because of how ridiculous everything is. And as much as I like the soundtrack on its own, hearing Charlie XCX's voice in an 18th century setting took me out. I couldn't take it seriously at all. That was it. That was everything I watched. Pretty good month. You can follow me on Letterboxd if you want. And if not, you're missing out. I don't know what to tell you. I got some nice reviews up on there. Not to toot my own horn.